Hello, Superwomen, and maybe the one man that's listening. We have a super awesome episode today. Those that have been around from the beginning that have the fan badge know that Emily was our very first guest on a Superwoman Handbook podcast when we were just a little baby and we were recording on Zoom from my kitchen, and here we are. So I am so excited to have her and her friend Paula coming to us all the way from Portugal to talk about a new, I don't want to say adventure, but a new adventure that you're working
Yeah.
on. Tell us all about it, Emily and Paula.
Go ahead.
Well,
Okay, we started in our kitchen, in my kitchen, right, as well.
yeah, we did start. It did
Just
start
like
in
you.
Paula's kitchen because I was fresh meat here in Portugal. I had just arrived, and I had a few barriers working against me. I had the language barrier, the cultural barrier, and then on top of all that, I'm pretty neurodivergent, so like, the weird quirkiness, right? So I had a lot that I was juggling, and I was having a hard time just like doing basic things and figuring out how to live my life. And Paula and I met and became friends. And then eventually, I think the first thing she helped me with was you went with me to my appointment at IMA at the government
Oh,
agency.
yeah, there was the trip to Coimbra.
Yeah,
we
went
barely knew each other. Yes, that's true.
Yes.
yes.
And so I had to go to my immigration appointment, like to get my card bestowed upon me by the government so that I could be a legal immigrant, right? And I was
Years today. Wasn't the 7th of July?
get out of here.
That is very.
It was 2 years ago, and I was nervous because I thought they were going to be like, get out. And so
Always nervous.
Paula said she'd come with me, and we didn't know each other super well. We'd met at a dinner party of a mutual friend, and then we'd been out to lunch, I think, together. Because
Yes,
we went for
yes.
Thai food. And then, and then she was like, I'll come. And I was like, okay, like I need a local, right? I need help. And we talked because Coimbra, where my appointment is like an hour and a half drive.
An hour, 45 to an hour.
Yeah. Okay. So not that long, but long. And so,
Full day ordeal because we left in the morning
yeah.
and we even had lunch.
And then
in
we had lunch
Coimbra.
and we went shopping and
Yeah.
we each got matching purses.
Yes, guys, they're right there.
Yeah.
There. Yeah.
Yes. But anyways, that is the first time I realized how much more seamless things can be when you have someone who knows. And let me backtrack just a quick second. The best analogy that I like to give, because I think this, to me, it really resonates. As adults in America, right? As adults, when we think about our day and we're like, all right, I've got to fill the car up with gas, stop by the store and get something for dinner. I need to go by the ATM because the guy's coming tomorrow and I need like $50 and, he's going to clean the skylights. And then, I need to stop by the bank and make a deposit. So if you're thinking as an American adult, these are the things you have to do. And even if I told my spouse, my husband, if I was like, Patrick, these are the things that need to be done, can you do them? He'd be like, yeah. And he would get them done. I mean, he's a dude, but he would get them done. But my point is, if we see these things as so easy that we don't have to think about them. But if you said to your 14-year-old son, who is a smart kid, not a smart kid, right? Hey, little Bobby, I need you to go get in the car, drive to the gas station, fill the gas tank up, stop by the ATM, get some cash, drive through at the bank, and all the things. All right, like, oh, there's my oldest dog, but my littlest, Lilo.
Sorry.
You would see Bobby like trip up because Bobby's going to get, if he can find his way to the gas station, how do I pull the car up and what side do I pull the car? And then what am I supposed to use? What pump? There's 4 different pumps here. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Am I supposed to pay? How do I pay? Do I go in? Do I press a button? What the hell am I going to do here? And then he's got to go to the ATM. Okay, well, then I'm going to walk up to the ATM. Hello. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. Go to the store and get bread. Oh, okay, yeah. He walks in. Well, there's 50 different breads to choose from. What bread? Well, I don't know. What do you, the frozen bread, the fresh bread, the sliced bread? I don't know what you mean. And then, like little Bobby is going to be like super overwhelmed. But an adult, who's lived their life the in America, in our culture, all their life, they know what you mean when you say these things and they just do them. So as an immigrant, right? When I've bought 2 houses now in my 2 years here, and if somebody is like, you need to get the XYPZ form, and I'm making that up because that's not a form, but it sounds like one of the 50 forms, right? They're like, oh, it's super, super easy. You just run to the bank. Just run to the bank. Tell them you need the XYPZ form. You got it. Cool. So I go to the bank. Hi. Hey, I'm your customer. I need the XYPZ form, please. They're like, oh yeah, no problem. You have your passport and the blood type of your firstborn? No, I didn't know I needed either. Right? They said to go to the bank. What do you want the form? You know, so it's like you're so dumb as an immigrant. It's like you are a 14-year-old child tasked with what everyone else thinks are normal, everyday, easy things. So basically you just take your IQ, whatever it may be, and you could just knock 30 points off and then try to exist in that world, because that is the life of an immigrant, because what seems so simple is not anymore. And having someone with me, or even that I can call real quick and be like, Paula, I'm at the doctor and I had an appointment and I don't know why they're not calling me. I was early and I've been here for 20 minutes and now it's 10 minutes. Did you get a ticket? Did I get a what? Ticket. You have to go to the machine and get a ticket. No, I had an appointment. I didn't need a ticket. You got to have a ticket. Well, shit, who knew? But just things like that. If I had grown up here and I went to the doctor with my mom all my life and saw that when you walk in, she gets a ticket, it would be thoughtless for me. It's not thoughtless. Anyways, that was a huge, long explanation to describe why we are what we are and how Casa da Amelia was born, because you've got me, the crazy immigrant, right? And you have Paula, the native, but who has also lived as an immigrant in both Great Britain and in America, in Florida.
Yeah.
So she also knows the feeling, that fish out of water feeling. And then, you know, between the two of us, we got you, boo. We know where you are. We know where you've been and where you're going, and we are here to help. So.
And what's important to me might not be to you.
That's
so
true.
we all different. And having a cookie cutter service in a way
Right.
doesn't seem real.
Right. Because one person is like, I can handle the bank, no problem. But oh my God, I can't go to the grocery store without getting totally overwhelmed and having to leave, right? So like you just don't know.
Hand to hold while you go to the doctor the first time.
Oh yes.
For some people it's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming going to the doctor for the first time. The ticket story is true. Like I didn't know I was supposed to have a ticket.
Well, you need to leave. You need to leave time. You need to let them know that you arrived, that you were there for your appointment. Because some people might not show up just because you have an appointment.
That's fair. But in the land that I used to live, if you have an appointment, it's at 3 and you show up and you see the lady that does it. And either she knows you're there or she says, and she asks your name and you tell her and you sit down. But you walk in, you sit down. Like, I didn't know. But now I know.
Years ago, we were like,
really?
Yeah, when I was young, but now, especially in hospitals, when you have a lot of people, it's kind of, you don't have any more that intimacy, the closeness,
Oh, we have tickets here at the post office, tickets at the deli counter. I mean,
Nobody cuts off on lines. You don't have arguments. I was here before you because you have a number. So nobody can come and say, oh, I was here, but you didn't saw me. No, that don't happen.
So the main goal of Casa de Amelia is to help immigrants to Portugal assimilate to local culture, doing everyday tasks like the doctor, buying a car, going to the post office, buying a house. I just want to make sure I'm tracking to make sure that's
I
the goal.
might define it a little bit differently. I think our main goal actually is judgment. People, no, not in a bad way. Jesus. No, like judgment, like people need help making judgments, right? Like people need help funneling down decisions. And like you said, buying a car, right? Like in the States, I'm like, well, I know that the people who drive this car are this, people who drive, I know I want this car because it's dependable and that whatever. But then you're an American immigrant and you're like, okay, well, let's see what's on the car market. Oh, we've got Citroen, Renault, Skoda. Right? Like, yeah, I know. But so like, and I'm like, I don't know what these cars are. What does it represent? Like who drives the Citroen? Who drives
I
the
don't know.
Renault? I don't know. And then what do they mean? And then
Audis, you said you don't have them in the States either.
Audi?
Audi?
We have Audi.
You have Audi?
Yeah, the circles.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have circles.
So Patrick said you didn't.
Patrick told a story.
Okay, sorry.
Patrick doesn't have one, but
Because
the country
we
does.
were in Vieira and he mentioned it.
Well, he lies. We have
Okay.
Audi.
Sorry, my bad. I was just said what I was told.
We don't have Skoda.
You don't have Skoda?
Hell no.
I thought you did.
Skoda. Anyways, so yeah, I think sometimes people need help just figuring out, like, okay, if I'm going to buy a car, what am I looking for in a car? Like here, it's much different. You know, a big deal is gas mileage, because gas here is similar to gas in California in the States, but in most other states, I lived in North Carolina. So gas here is like 3 or 4 times more per gallon, if you calculated it that way, than it was where I came from. And so that's a huge factor, where in the States it was like, oh, well, you know, it's icing on the top of the cake. It was nice. So, and here the car, it's not your second home, because you're not driving around in it for an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon. Well, sometimes you are if you're a parent and you're picking kids up, but for the most part, it's not. So it's just different. People need help guiding their decisions. People need help trying to figure out school for their kid, like
Priorities.
yes, like, or some people just need help figuring out, like, is Portugal the right fit for me? Am I the right fit for Portugal?
Because it might not be for everybody.
Sure. Or am I looking to move into a city like Lisbon, or am I looking to move like in the countryside or up north or down south? Like, there's so many things. And then you go on the internet, and God bless America, the internet has every answer. Yeah. And then you're like, you walk away more confused than you were when you walked in, because you can put one question and get 12 different answers and 2 arguments.
Minimum.
Right. So if you want answers that are, like, I hate to say sane, because I wouldn't really define either of us as perfectly sane, but we're intelligent. We're intelligent. We're intelligent. We're grounded, okay? And we can help you with those kinds of decisions.
So let's say I'm listening from my kitchen in Nebraska, and I just got done listening to Emily's podcast, her first episode, which we'll drop in the comments so y'all can get caught up on how Portugal saved her life, how she came to the decision to do this for herself, how she broke the news with her family, and then kind of how the journey started. So let's say I just listened to that podcast and I'm like, yeah, girl, I'm on the Portugal train. And I reach out to you. What can I expect? What's a typical customer experience like with y'all?
Well, we first need to ask what your goals are, what is really important, not what you think is important. You know, just take a second. It's very catered personally, because sometimes what you think is important today, so because it's not just on one interview, you know, you can start by there. And then as people see more, sometimes they adapt and they change.
People sometimes don't even know what to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, they want the answers, but they don't know what questions they need to ask. And that's why we're here.
Because for some people, what is important is like how to work the supermarket. For others, oh, that's easy. All depends on your personal experience. What have you done? And your age also is important, because, you know, you just retired. You're 60 or 65. You lived in your town all your life. And now you decide this, you know, the needs is not the same as somebody that has small children.
I think also, and you can disagree, tell me what you think.
Okay.
I haven't run this past my business partner, but I think that a really important factor is to ask someone to describe their normal
Life.
Tuesday. Just
Yeah, you
Tuesday.
said we talked
Did I,
about.
did I tell?
Yeah,
Okay,
we
I
did
did.
discuss that. That
So-
was one of the things.
So not Saturday, not a vacation, not Sunday at the beach, because
Yeah.
Portugal does have beautiful beaches. No, I mean Tuesday. Who's got regular doctor's appointments in your family? Who has to get up and walk the dog? Who is gonna run to the store? Who, like, show me walk me through your typical day, because that's gonna depend on where you might adjust best, right? Because if you have to go for an infusion at the doctor's office once a week or twice a week, and you live in Alentejo, it might be tough to get out there. And I might say, hey, you might consider a different area, maybe Coimbra or Lisboa or Porto or something, right? Or Paula would probably have better suggestions than me. But like, so, I get up and I walk the dog. Oh, tell me about your dog. He's what are they called? The Mastiff, the bull Mastiffs. They're like 100 pounds or whatever, 150 pounds. This giant. So you should not be living on the 10th floor apartment
Yes.
with no elevator.
No.
This is something we need to know, right? Like,
Yes.
you need
And-
walkable area.
And plus, this is a good thing because I think this is both of us. We are a little bit more planners, preppers, not in a bad way, a little bit, just a little bit. So it's like, imagine if you have no power and you live on a 20th floor, you have to come downstairs.
Yeah, if it's true though, because the power does go out.
I mean,
At times.
I mean, for 5 years I've been here, never happened. And last year we had that problem with Spain, the grid in Spain.
Yeah, the grid collapsed.
The
The
grid
power grid
collapsed.
collapsed.
I mean, we were supposed to be, from Spain, France, we didn't know how many days we were going to be without power. It was a few hours. It was like,
Yeah, but
but you
we
don't
didn't know, and I didn't
understand.
speak the language, and the radio was like,
Yeah. And that was fine.
couldn't call anyone.
Since we were already friends, she already got me a wind up radio. So I had the radio, so I knew I was
I had
going
the
to-
damn radio, but it just went, and I'm like, I don't know what it's saying.
So, thanks to her, I was in touch with the world with analog, because you took here to go digital. So those little things, and that happened, and they were saying that day on the radio, they didn't know how long it was going to take, but it started from 8 o'clock in the evening. Some towns started to come. By midnight, most of the country had, and the day was beautiful, was warm, not raining. It was a perfect day. And the days were longer, so we could spend time more. Yeah, you ate in your veranda, I ate on my backyard, So it was a good experience, but it was an eye-opening stuff. We depend too much on technology. We need to be aware and study our options. I mean, what happened to the Italian, Francesca? They had everything because her husband,
We have an immigrant community.
Yeah.
We refer to each other by our nationality, the Italian.
yeah, exactly, Francesca.
Francesca.
Yes. And he's Belgian. I don't remember his name.
The husband is Belgian. Oh, yeah, we know other Belgian. Anyway, go on. Yes.
Yeah. So they had everything
He's
they needed.
Michelle.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, they had everything they needed in the garage. But guess what? The garage, the gate was electric, so they couldn't get in. And they never thought to get the key. Those
Oh.
little things we learn with our friends as well to transmit to other people. So it's things people don't think about it. I know it's crazy. We are. But it's those little important things. It is for us,
So let's say I'm still in my kitchen in Nebraska. I've reached out. We've had Zoom calls and emails, and we've identified my perfect place. I get the ticket. I fly there. Do you meet me at the airport? Do you
That's-
take me in your car? Or is that a platinum package? Is there a silver package?
Yes,
Like,
that
what
is
can I
all of that.
expect?
Yes, it's all depends on what you want and how much you need and how much you can afford as well.
Yeah, it's totally custom to you.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to paint anyone into a box.
No.
Some people just need help making the initial decisions and then they go from there. Some people want like an itinerary, like tell me what I need to be looking at. Give me some suggestions on what to do. And we can help. Some people are like, hey, meet up with me for like 2 days. Show me the groundwork and then I'll
That's
take it
me.
from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
That's me.
whatever you need, that's
that's-
why we're here.
I love that. And I like that you
we don't
have
want to
different
create
packages.
and we don't want to create dependency. We
Yeah.
want to give you the tools so you can be on your own. That was the main goal. That's when I start seeing, some of her problems. I said, okay, certain things are so easy and nobody had told her.
So yeah,
Because a lot of people speak English here. Like when you
I
call
didn't
to,
know.
nobody told her, and she needs to call for a hospital or something. The line, you press 1 or 2 for English, I don't know. And you press and it has somebody. I mean, I use it sometimes when the power went out or we had problems one time. I was on a Portuguese line. It's like, okay, they're waiting so long. I went the English line. They picked out right away. That is a problem because then when they start, then I go with the Portuguese and they want the address and I forget and I start speaking, I start sounding Portuguese. I was like, oops, they're going to know that I can speak Portuguese. So sometimes I give the phone to my husband. It's like, I don't know how to say a name of our street without sounding Portuguese. So you give the address.
He's American.
Yeah, he's American. Yeah.
But okay, so I love that you offer as much service as someone needs, whether that's just researching or talking through, like kind of like a big sister.
Yeah.
Be like, nah, girl, you can do that if you want to, but I don't know. Or even to as involved as like someone like me. I'd be too intimidated to even get off the airplane. I'd be like, be there with the sign with my name on it and walk me by the hand out of the airport.
You'd be amazed what you could do.
Yeah. But I hear you.
I love
And we could be there for
we have that
yes.
service.
Yeah.
And I will
I
say,
love that.
like,
Now,
I am an occupational therapist by trade. I practiced for 20 years. What occupational therapists do is teach people how to be independent and do things themselves in light of or in spite of whatever they have going on with themselves, whatever their situation is. So it's a pretty easy transfer to take that from the medical setting and teaching someone how to get dressed now that they can't use their left arm. Well, you've got to change this, you got to change that, modify this, modify that. And now I'm teaching you how to live your life and you're not totally fluent in the language and the culture that you live. We can modify it. We got this, we got that, but you can do it yourself. You don't have to be dependent on someone else. We're here to help you. I feel like we're like your cousins. Like,
Yeah.
if you're like, yeah, I don't know where I'm going to move. I'm going to move to Portugal because I got those cousins, Emily and Paula.
Yeah.
And I'm not super tight with them, but I know they'll be there for me and they'll make sure that I don't fall down. Like, that's us.
The crazy cousins.
so you don't make folks sign a contract or work with exclusive vendors. They're still able to live their own life
Yeah.
when they get to Portugal.
Oh my gosh.
No,
We vet our vendors. Vet is the wrong word. We choose our vendors based on their reputation in the community and based on our personal experiences and feedback from our clients. We never, ever, ever require a vendor to pay us for a referral.
No.
I mean, that's
Because it's a big, to me, that's another thing I saw. It's a big responsibility. It's the same as you ask me for a restaurant to go. I like the food. You may not like it, right? Because we all, different experience the same way. That part there, it has to be, you're free to choose.
people are making like super big decisions that are very expensive decisions. Both they're costly financially and in effort and energy when they're making this move. And my job is to
Save them money too in the process.
yes, make sure that it's a seamless transition. I'm not trying to get any kickbacks or anything.
No. Because, and
regard.
plus it's some service that I personally don't think anybody needs to pay for. Of course, I'm not going to say I will say when you're a customer, then if you want, it's your choice, but I will explain why. But, you don't need that.
Yeah, sometimes I'll go to Paula and I'll be like, hey, look, I just found this thing online and if I pay them, 100 euros a year, they're going to make all my appointments for me, all the government appointments and the doctor's appointments. Yay. And she's like, Paula's like, you just press 3 for English and you can make the appointments yourself. The hell? Like, so
that's how the idea really came about. Yeah.
And there is a genuine need for that because even when we had this situation over the holiday weekend. We went out of town, out of state, and we were debating if we could buy wine at the grocery store or we had to go to the ABC store.
Yeah.
it's so anytime you go to a different place, there's different protocols in varying degrees. So I can only imagine just how extreme it is. And also, let's just be real. I feel like there is a component of immigrant where if you're an immigrant, there's just a target on your head, and everyone's like, oh, you need this, and you need this paper fan, and you need the da da da. And you're like, oh, all right, yeah, okay, the guy on the street corner riding the bike said I need a paper fan. Okay. So having someone like y'all to just help navigate. Now, let's say that someone is in their kitchen in Nebraska. They listen to Emily's podcast, How Portugal Saved Her Life. And they're like, nah, girl, not quite ready to put my big girl britches on and go that extreme. Do you offer any other services for people who might want to just do Portugal light or anything else?
Just come stay for a few weeks and live for a local. I mean, gosh,
Well, that is so
Pause.
much.
live like a local. Or yeah, we also do tours.
Yeah.
Just for fun tours, like dark history tours. We'll do tours. I don't know. I can recommend to you places to stay and places to visit, but I don't know that we would design your vacation. But we're happy to help and to help you pare down those decisions on what to see based on what your interests are.
Yeah. And if you want to come in Carnival, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Carnaval is like
Mardi Gras.
it is fun.
So if anyone is just Portugal curious, they could feel comfortable reaching out
Yes.
and kind of getting some more information. Okay. Which I'm just Portugal curious right now. Is that I want, I always kind of like to know. And so if folks are Portugal curious, where can they look online to find your company, find out more about you fun ladies?
Facebook.
We have a Facebook page. We have an internet. So it's called Casa, like CASA, da, Amelia,
But it has an accent on it.
not the
Eh,
website.
Oh, the website doesn't?
No,
Oh, okay, cool.
It's just EMILIA
Because the other day I was having problems.
because
Oh,
you were putting the accent in
okay.
and you weren't getting the website.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that. Casa da Amelia, casadaamelia.com. And the Facebook page is also Casa da Amelia. No?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. I thought so. So,
For the last year.
yeah,
you know?
right. I mean, so that.
Yeah. And it is some videos
love
about
that.
Portugal you can watch on Facebook.
Mm.
A lot. And some with history, some with gastronomy, some with different things, like the last one I put about the coffee.
Yes,
The
that was so cool. Portugal coffee versus American coffee.
I know it's basic, but it is a reality.
It's cultural and gastronomy. It's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
And Paula's an amazing cook. She is an amazing cook. So we've talked about doing. She would do cooking lessons. It's not going to be like a formal go to her studio type thing, but
Yeah.
if somebody was looking for that, we have the answer. And we've even talked about just doing casual dinners. Like if you wanted to just like, what is it like having dinner at the Portuguese household? Like,
Yeah.
come over. So, yeah.
Yeah, because wherever I went, I took my culture or my personality with me. I mean, I lived in England. My neighbor missed Christmas Eve because in Portugal, Christmas Eve is really big. We have Christmas Day, but it starts Christmas Eve. And the year I was in the States, she's like, I had to make the food, but it was nothing like yours. And, you got us used to having that evening
The Christmas
family.
Eve.
Yeah.
The
Because in England, they go to the pub Christmas Eve. Our husband will go to the pub, but then because we Portuguese, we eat late and we stay up Christmas Eve.
Dinner's usually around 9.
8, 9 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing. You won't be able to eat dinner at 5 o'clock here. Or
Oh
6.
my God. Americans are like, well, it's dinner time. It's 5:30 at 6. Everything's closed. Everything's
can. Real sandwich. Tosta mista.
Oh, you could find a toast to me. You could find a cafe, like a coffee store with some sandwiches and some croissants.
Yeah.
If that's what you want
Or
for dinner. Cakes. But like, because Patrick and I made that mistake when we were first here, and we were like, well, it's 4 o'clock. We're exhausted. We've had a long day touring Portugal. Let's just get an early dinner and go to sleep. And there was nothing open but this creperie. They made crepes with ice cream. And we're like, well, I guess this is dinner. I had a Nutella crepe with some banana. Yeah. So, yes. I mean,
But at least we start at 7, go to Spain, and you eat even later.
yeah. The restaurants typically open around 7, and usually that's like older people and immigrants or tourists. And then
Then
the locals start
8
filing in
o'clock,
like around
at
8.
8:30.
I love all these nuances, things that are real that you would experience. And then not having anyone to bounce it off of and go, hey, is there an alternate to this? Or do I just eat sandwiches for dinner for the rest of my life? And have them go, no, get there at 7. Go, no, all those little things. So we'll make sure that we put in the show notes your contact information, how folks can find you online if they are Portugal curious to any degree to start their journey and explore a different culture. And with that, I'll leave it with you ladies. What do you want to leave our listeners with today?
Let us help you cut through the noise and create what you need.
And if Portugal is not for you, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We all don't like the same, but at least you made the first step and decide something for your life,
Yeah. Agreed. I think you should not be trying to pressure yourself into figuring out if you can make it work in Portugal, but instead find out what you need to work and work backwards from there.
And what your values, your
And
priorities,
then
and what you want from life.
Right, because everywhere you go, you take you with you, right? So like if you're looking for the slower pace of life, which is here, awesome. But let's talk about what the flip side of that means. The flip side of that means if you order a package, it's not going to be at your door tomorrow. If you need your window, which is cracked, to be repaired, there's not going to be 5 services coming to give you a bid in the next 3 days. That's not going to happen. It'll probably be fixed in a month or 2, maybe, if, somebody, and if it's lunchtime, nobody's calling you back.
Yeah.
Lunchtime is precious and they're not going to call you.
Yeah, it's sacred. Yeah,
it's sacred. And but that's part of the chill life, right? That's part of the slow. So you have to give to get. But yeah, I think the takeaway, I think, is wherever you go, you take you with you.
Yeah.
And let's figure out what it is about you that is not going to change, and what it is about you that you value and cherish, that you want to grow, and what it is about your life right now that you do want to see change. And then let's work backwards from there and figure out, is Portugal somewhere for you to live temporarily, to visit? And if so, then we'll work further backwards and find out where is the right place, and what might you find yourself doing, and how is the best way to connect with a community and make friends
and realize when you leave your country in the things you used to, because they cannot come with the idea that you use all your life to have, I don't know, red glass, and then all the glasses here are blue.
That sounds really obvious. No, it does. It's like, duh. Well, yeah, of course I know that. But people don't
realize that.
A friend of mine was buying a house, and the houses here are built differently than the houses in the States. The houses here are built out of concrete, solid concrete walls. My walls are like a fortress. I think they're about a foot thick. And
we had,
Yeah, it's of concrete. There's no insulation in there. There's no.
Yes, it is. And between the
There's insulation
bricks,
in there. There's
that
insulation in there.
That's
but,
why when Patrick was saying your house wasn't getting as cool as mine, because it does take.
I got insulation, but I also have cement walls, right?
Yes.
And the roofs are made with clay tiles, right? And so they're really heavy, and they're on these like metal stays, and
Property brothers cannot do.
Yeah.
Come and
you
knock
can't
a
just
wall.
knock a wall, right? And so
With
like
hammer.
so to speak to what Paula was saying, she was saying you used to drinking out of a red cup and we only have blue cups here. And you're like, yeah, duh. But what that translates to is you're used to looking at a house and be like, yeah, no problem. I'll just knock that wall down and make this into this.
I mean,
and
you can.
But
But
it's a
cost you more.
different process. Or, you think, well, what do you mean it doesn't have central heat?
Yeah.
No one here has central. Well, they do. They call it central heat. It's not like in the United States. In the United States, you're like, I like 72 degrees Fahrenheit. And then your house stays at 72 degrees Fahrenheit all by itself, all winter long, in the summer too, if you want. No, that's not how that works here. You have to dress for the weather in your house.
No, but it depends. Like Kim's house was a furnace. She has a thermostat.
She has a thermostat, but I guarantee you, she ain't dressing and living like she did in the States.
I don't know.
So-
We're very hot there.
So that's what we mean though, because you're like, I love the peaceful lifestyle and the pretty rooms are so pretty. Well, honey, like you can't walk in and be like, you don't understand. In the States, you just press the button and you walk away and then can we do that? No. No, we can't. We don't have room in the walls for a duct system here. Like they're starting to build houses that way, but they're
the
not
units
really
we have, they stick out. They're like the
split units.
yes.
Yeah.
That's what we have.
But it's just different and you can't take it with you and you may find it very efficient. And a lot of times it was very efficient for where you lived in the States. And you may find that what the way it's set up here is not efficient to your definition. Sorry, Charlie. Hate it for you. I mean, but because we see some people who like try to school the locals. They're like, I see. You didn't understand.
Yeah.
This is how it's supposed to be. You're silly. I see that for the last 5,000 years, you've been doing it this way.
I mean, you want to spend your money, go ahead.
We're just rambling. Okay.
Yeah. Go spend your money, Like the woman that was saying, I can't believe our bills. And I was like, I just can't.
Oh, this woman was talking about, she said,
I
don't move to Portugal. They say it's.
No, she didn't say don't move. It's like, this is the reality, how much you spend.
Yeah. And then she goes over her bills and she's like,
I was like,
I pay 3,500 euros in rent. Jesus Christ. You pay what? Holy daylights, Batman.
the water bill was the biggest one.
Charlie, water bill's 300 euros
No,
a month?
was-
No, it's not. That's not real. That's not what most
100
people
euros,
Yes.
it's too much. I mean, I water stuff. I'm always do the water and
Yeah,
the
I
and
have-
everything. And it's not even half.
I know. But it's just, I
But
think
it depends
when
where
you're trying to force
I
your
think
lifestyle, if
you
you're.
it depends where you live, I think, a little bit. But it's just like, you have to choose. You probably leave the house and leave the tap running, and you got to pay a lot.
Well, I know people who move here and they're, like I was describing before with the temperature, when I lived in America in the cold of winter, in my house with the doors closed, I was in a t-shirt and shorts because that's how I'm comfortable and that's what I wore. If you tried to live like that here, you'd be freaking miserable and cold, probably, unless you're a very hot-blooded person, because it gets cold in the house.
Eat like I do.
Okay, but when she says turn on the heat, what she means, like,
Oh yeah, you don't leave it 24 hours.
no,
a
you
day.
don't. Each day to take the nip out. It takes the edge off. Okay, and then your house isn't ghastly cold; it's just chilly, and you can wear one of those Snuggies or whatever, and you're not dying of cold. But that is a different standard to live by, and it's fine. And one's not better than the other. But
Yeah,
if
I
you
understand what you're
show up from America and you're gonna have your heat on 24/7, you're gonna be paying 1,000 euros a month in your bills.
Yeah, I guess because in the UK we don't have it running, even though it's really, really cold in the winter. You don't have a run like you do in America either. So we already came. We have timers. They come on at this time and then they turn off and they come on and they turn off.
That's fancy. That's nice.
So they're not cost. So we in Europe, that's how we do it.
Okay.
So I guess when I came here, so I know how to do it manually. So I
So
know
you just
how
do it manual. You're like, we just need a few hours on, take the chill
I
out
know
of the air.
because you know what times it is. You turn it on in the morning for a couple hours
Yes.
because it doesn't get that cold. Because
And then you let the sun heat it and all the things that I didn't know. I just didn't know. I was telling Paula, we were laughing because she said when she moved to the United States, she had to learn to dress differently for bed. And she had to, here, all of my life, I have slept in an oversized t-shirt. That's how I sleep. Winter, summer, spring, and fall, I'm in an oversized t-shirt. Girl, my first few months here, I'd be in bed like, stupid, go put on some pants. It never occurred to me. This is how I sleep.
Pajamas?
No, this is how I sleep. And then finally one day I was like, forget it. I'm just going to go put pants on and sleep like this because I'm freezing. And then I was comfortable. And then I realized, oh my God, this is what they dress. And then in the summertime, if you're particularly hot, you put a little tank top jammies on. I had to adjust. I didn't.
The same as in Florida was where I was at, was very humid. I don't like air conditioning. We weren't used because most in Europe you don't have, now you have it more. But like 20, 30 years ago was very rare. And it was very hard because I would turn off the heating in a house and I was in a panhandle, it's very humid. And so I would start sweating. So I had to turn it on and I was always on and off. So I decided I had to wear a winter robe in a house in the summer because of the air conditioning. That I wasn't used to it.
And the neighbors were probably like, that Portuguese lady next door, I don't know what she's doing, but the air conditioner keeps coming on and off, and then she's in a bathrobe, and then she's in a tank top. I don't know what's going on over there.
It's cold. My arms, if you sit down, the air conditioner gets your arm cold. Oh, no, can't have air conditioner. It's too cold. See, what did I did Wednesday? No, Friday.
Oh, we had a heat wave recently.
Yeah, very uncommon. The type of temperatures we had over 104.
Yeah.
And so I went to the beach. It was nice and comfortable.
She
there.
went to the beach.
It was nice. Us, Patrick and Jeremiah, they were amazed.
My son and husband
Patrick said, "You don't need air conditioning." Wow, I didn't know this.
Yeah, no. I stayed home. Very still.
Roasting.
No, I stayed very still.
Roasting.
In the shade.
Roasting. So, yes, it's those little differences, I mean, and I understand what is not to have something, because when I got to the States, was only one store that I could find a butter that I kind of liked. It's just butter. Bread was a hard thing for me to find.
Yeah, but
because
bread here,
because you only have sliced bread, you didn't have fresh bread, and I was used to.
You can get it at specialty stores.
I lived where it depends where you live.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I found out. Yes, I wasn't very lucky.
I have to say, this has been the most enjoyable podcast I think I have been a part of. And I can see why you ladies became friends and business partners. And I can just see that you bring that same joy and jubilance into your interactions with your clients and can really help make something that can be very stressful and overwhelming. And I mean, an international move is just wow, and to be able to do it with ladies like y'all with the camaraderie and the honesty, I just so appreciate what you're doing, and I hate that I'm not now moving to Portugal.
You can always visit.
Because I'll come and visit. I love
We
it.
have spare bedrooms.
All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having
we'll
us,
drop all
Gillian.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure as always.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.